Hi, everyone. How's everybody doing this afternoon, almost afternoon? I am really excited to be here. I grew up in the ethical culture movement. It is near and dear to my heart. Actually, at one of the FES conferences in St. Louis, a bunch of us got matching ethical culture logo tattoos. So we are clearly very diehard, still have it. My parents were like, oh, why? But, you know, there are worse things. So I'm really excited to be here. Thanks, Perry, for the introduction. And I also want to thank my husband. He came up here and gave a little bit of an intro. And when it comes with mental illness, it's not just the individual who really struggles and is diagnosed. It's the family. And that can make your illness better or worse depending on the level of involvement people have. And so for me, my bipolar is something that I'm more successful at managing because I have a very strong support system, and I'm very lucky in that regard. And the saying that I think we're all familiar with is, it takes a village and all good villages have psychiatrists, I believe is how that goes, which is something that I live by. So I think that's important. And I'm here to talk about not just bipolar disorder, but really who I am as a person. And like Perry so kindly introduced me, my name is Rachel Callum Whitman, and I grew up attending WES, and I now live in Pittsburgh. I have 31 tattoos, including our little ethical culture guy. I earned my doctorate in disability studies and education. I'm an Aquarius. My passions include writing, eating cheese, and talking about sloths. See me after if you want to talk about cheese and or sloths. I can draw with my feet, and I have bipolar disorder. So typically, when I introduce myself, which of these identifiers do you think I leave out? So this is just shout it out. Bipolar. Okay, the people at the 9:30, they were like, writing with your feet. I was like, of course I'm going to tell people I write with my feet. That's amazing. Come on, 9:30, wake up. So it is bipolar disorder. So bipolar disorder is a big part of my life, sometimes in a good way, sometimes in a bad way. When I was first diagnosed, it was really, really challenging to admit and accept the label, because to me, having bipolar, being crazy, was really, really negative. For example, my guidance school counselor, when she found out about the diagnosis that I finally got when I was 17 years old, she called me into her office and told me that I should probably rethink my college plans. And I was a 4.0 student. I had extracurriculars. The only thing that had changed was now I had a diagnosis. And luckily, my parents were just like, get out of here. We don't want you staying in our house anymore. Get on that bus, go to college. So I was able to kind of forge my own path in that way. But the fact that that diagnostic label shifted my guidance counselor's mind so significantly, that's not that uncommon. This kind of thing can happen. And so for me, growing up with bipolar disorder really took me finding my own voice and figuring out who I am, not as someone who is ill, but as a person who can own this illness. Part of my journey has been writing and keeping a blog. And I've written since I was 15 years old, and I first started experiencing symptoms of bipolar, but in the past couple years, I've started blogging about them and sharing my narrative. And I'm going to share parts of it with you today because that's how I find my zest, by being my authentic self. A trigger warning that I just wanted to put out there: I do talk about suicide, self-harm, and I drop the F-bomb a lot, but it's artistic, so it's not gratuitous cussing. It's very artistic. And I wanted to include these photos just because I've always been this quirky individual, and this is actually during a class in my doc program. I got bored, so I just went full dress up there. So I'm really excited to be here and to share this with you.